Warning, the following video has spoilers for Season 3 of The Flash. Viewer discretion is advised. Hey guys, it's Alex from 7th Hour Films, and today I'm going to be reviewing Season 3 of The Flash. You might not have noticed, but I am also reviewing Season 2 of Supergirl and Season 5 of Arrow. Those are on the channel right now. I'm uploading all three of these at the same time. So, at the end of this video, there will be end cards for both Supergirl and Arrow. But we're talking about Flash. So, let's talk about The Flash Season 3. Real quick, what I would like to do is, generally when I'm reviewing something where I didn't review like the previous, the things that led up to this, like previous seasons or previous movies, I'll give my thoughts really quick on those, and then I'll go right into what we're here to talk about. So I'm going to quickly talk about the first two seasons of The Flash. I like them. I love them. They're great seasons. I like Barry. He's an amazing character. So much to where I don't feel like Ezra Miller is going to be a good Flash in the Justice League movies. I just don't think, I have no faith in him, really. And I know, don't judge a book by its cover, and, I shouldn't judge performances before they even happened. I judged Ben Affleck, and I ended up loving him. But from what I've seen, I don't think you can top this Barry Allen. It's a great Barry Allen. Other than that, I've loved the stories. I've loved all the other characters. I've loved the villains. There's not a whole lot else I can say about it. It's just really, really good. So, I'm sorry. I might do this every now and again. For some reason, I have a terrible headache, and my hair is acting up. We'll just have to go with that. I have a headache, so it still hurts, obviously. So I might do this every once in a while, and I'll take some water. I just took some Advil, so hopefully that kicks in pretty soon. But yeah, seasons 1 and 2 of The Flash were great. They were amazing. I loved them. So let's move on to Season 3. Season 3 is interesting. I don't know if I would put it on the level of Season 1 and 2. Probably, if not on the same level, then, very close. I'll do my classic, where I think it is. If this is Seasons 1 and 2, I'd probably say Season 3 is either right here or, right here. They're very close. But there are some problems with this season. This time around, the villain is Savitar, the self-proclaimed god of speed. Which is, I suppose, is kind of a spoiler. You probably saw at the beginning of this video, there was a spoiler warning just straight off the bat. And we are going to be talking some spoilers about The Flash. So Savitar being the villain is kind of a spoiler, because he actually doesn't show up until episode 6 of the season. So we'll just let that clock go off, whatever. Alright, so he shows up a little later in the season. He's not there from the beginning, sort of like the Reverse Flash, and mostly Zoom. Zoom was there from episode 1. Technically, Reverse Flash wasn't there, but there was sort of a looming presence of him, I suppose. So yeah. So for the first 6 episodes, we have Dr. Alchemy, sort of the leader of the cult of Savitar, and basically trying to bring Savitar back so that he can, be a god of speed. So yeah, it's revealed that, well, alright, I should really take us back to the first episode. Because the first episode is Flashpoint Paradox, if you've ever heard of that. basically, in the comics, the Flashpoint Paradox is when Barry goes back in time to stop the murder of his mother, and it creates a whole new reality. Bruce Wayne is killed in the alley instead of his parents, so his dad becomes Batman. Aquaman and Wonder Woman are fighting in this giant war. All sorts of crazy stuff is going down. Eventually, he has to go back and stop himself from saving his mother. And that's where the New 52 comes from in DC Comics, if you know that. So here, pretty much the same thing happens. At the end of Season 2, actually, Barry goes back in time to stop the Reverse Flash from killing his mother, and this creates this new timeline. He's not the Flash, sort of. He's not the Flash. Wally is Kid Flash. Wally West is Kid Flash. He's going against the rival, and yeah, it's not really like the hellscape or the terrible reality that it is in the comics, but it's different, and there are consequences while he's there. Actually, it's strange. We might be talking a lot of time travel stuff and timeline stuff in this, so just a fair warning, some of the stuff might get kind of weird and kind of complicated to understand. So basically, okay, here we go. Let's say this is 2017, well actually 2016 actually. 2016, Barry has just defeated Zoom at the end of Season 2. He goes back in time to 2000 when his mother is killed, and he stops that. But instead of just letting history kind of take its course, he then runs back to 2016, where he basically replaces himself. He replaces the Barry that has been there that entire time. And so now Barry, with all of his memories of the timeline that he was in, and actually with all of his powers, is now in this new timeline. And then they actually state that they state that the more he uses his speed, the more he starts to forget stuff. I cannot settle on what I'm doing with my hair. I'm just gonna have to leave it like that. It's not that great, but whatever. You don't care. You care about the Flash. Ooh. Okay, so the more he uses his speed, the less he remembers. He's basically losing his memories. He actually has Eobard Thawne trapped in a prison to where he can't use his speed, so he's not losing his memories. So eventually, things go wrong. Some people are killed, and Barry has to have Eobard Thawne kill his mother. So they go back. Eobard kills Barry's mother, takes him back to his point in the timeline, and then runs off, and that's where you segue into Legends of Tomorrow Season 2. But I already talked about that, I already did a review on that, so now, in The Flash, things should be back to normal, right? No. There are differences now in the timeline. Caitlin has cold power. She's turning into Killer Frost, actually. Cisco's brother was killed in a car accident, and he wasn't before Barry time traveled. And Barry actually won't time travel to save his brother, and so Cisco's mad at him. Iris and Joe are not speaking to each other because of things from Season 2 that were actually resolved peacefully, but now they're not on speaking terms. So, stuff like that is happening. There's actually a new CSI at the CCPD working with Barry. Barry has a partner at CSI, Julian Albert, played by Draco Malfoy himself, Tom Felton. See, I almost forgot his name. I was like, Julian Albert. And I was like, wait, now Tom Felton, that's it. So we have a new character. All this stuff. I basically right now, to kind of breeze through this, because we've been going about 11 minutes or so, around there, give or take, depending on what I cut. I'm gonna just kind of list all my sort of negatives about the season, then we'll get to a couple of the good things, and then we'll call it a video, which is kind of how most reviews are. So, a couple bad things I can think of. There is problems between Barry and Cisco for the first half of this season. And I'm sorry if you can hear lawn work. People are mowing their lawns out there. Freaking trying to interrupt me while I'm doing videos. Anyway, problems with Cisco and Barry. Cisco is mad at Barry for not going back in time and saving his brother. All of that is there, especially when it's learned that Barry went back in time to save his family. And so that really makes Cisco mad. But the thing about that is, the thing Cisco didn't understand in that is that it didn't work well. It's like, yes, actually Barry was there for 3 months in the Flashpoint timeline, and he was happy. But then people started getting killed. He started losing his memories. And he knew he had to fix it, that he couldn't change time like that. That is never actually explained to Cisco. And this carries on for about 8 episodes. Well, 7 episodes actually, because it starts in episode 2 and goes through episode 8, which is actually the crossover. And it actually goes on throughout the entire crossover. Which you can actually, another, shameless plug I'm doing, but you can actually watch my thoughts on the CW DC crossover between Supergirl, Flash, Arrow, and Legends. You can see my review on that. It's like 40 minutes long. It's just me rambling, which hopefully you like. Obviously you do if you came here, if you came to this video, but yeah, it's about 40 minutes long. I did that in December, just after those episodes aired. You can see that on the channel. I might leave a link in the description to that, because there's only so many end cards I can put up in this video. So yeah, back to the Flash. So that carries on, actually now through 10 episodes, or 9 episodes, because it carries through 7 episodes of the Flash, and then 1 episode of Arrow and 1 episode of Legends because of the crossover. That kind of gets old pretty fast. So, but once that's cleared up, we're all good with these characters then. Another complaint I would have is that Caitlin is going through this thing where she's basically turning into Killer Frost and turning evil. And it's not explained very well. Basically, they give a brief explanation in just one of the episodes, like deep into this Killer Frost storyline, that the cold powers are actually messing with her brain chemistry and making her be more aggressive and evil. I know, it's kind of, I don't really want to make it so black and white, good and evil, but bad, more aggressive, more angry and stuff like that, more hateful. The powers are messing with her mind. But they don't explain that right away. They're basically, for a good couple episodes, for all we know, she just is becoming evil because she's Killer Frost. There's no actual scientific explanation for a while, and even then, it's like a throwaway line. You could completely miss it. And yeah, so I didn't really like that. But other than that, it's not really a bad plot line. I suppose it doesn't really have anything to do with anything. I'm filming this the day after my Supergirl review. and I went on a whole rant about a subplot that didn't go anywhere, which technically this doesn't either. It's not exactly pointless, because she does end up becoming Killer Frost, and she sides with the villain Savitar, and is now evil and, trying to, kill the team and stuff. And then at the end, it's interesting because once she goes full Killer Frost, for a few episodes she's just Killer Frost. There's no Caitlyn within her. There's no good within her. But slowly, as the powers just kind of stay there, they actually start to, the messing with her mind starts to kind of fade. She starts getting more control over her and is good-ish. She's not pure evil anymore. And that's kind of the thing in the finale, is that she kind of overcomes Killer Frost, even without taking a cure to change her back from, instead of being a metahuman, just back into a regular human. She just overcomes it, and then in the finale she says, "I'm not Caitlyn, but I'm not Killer Frost either. I need to figure out who I am." So is that subplot kind of pointless? Technically, yeah, kind of. It's pointless in that there is no defined point yet. But it is not... But it is somewhat pointless in that it didn't really go anywhere this season. Again, maybe next season it'll go somewhere. But right now it has not really gone anywhere, and air conditioning just kicked on, which is good. It's getting hot in here, actually. Oh god, it's been 18 minutes on my recording. So, the only other thing I can really kind of nitpick, honestly, because these are kind of nitpicks, is actually the main villain, Savitar. Now, he's good. I like him, especially when they reveal who he is. I think it's an amazing concept. I feel like we didn't get enough of him, because normally on The Flash, in season 1 of The Flash, they reveal who the main villain is, who the Reverse Flash is, on the 9th episode. Okay, that's pretty interesting. Season 2, they reveal it in episode 15. Okay, well, a little bit later, but that means 8 episodes with knowing who the main villain is and him working off the team and being evil and stuff. Savitar is revealed about 3 episodes before the finale. About 3 episodes before the end. That's not enough time to really get to know him, because for the longest time, it's just Savitar. That's all he is just Savitar. He's some a-hole, pardon my censored French. Frenchard? Sense? Anyway. He's just some jerk who wants to kill Iris. Again, spoilers, but you saw the warning in the beginning of this video. So we only get 3 episodes to really know him, know his backstory, and for him to interact off the main characters. And that's not enough, especially when they build up so many great things. Alright, I'm gonna say who he is. So if you've really stuck here for a while and you're thinking, these aren't really spoilers, I'll be fine in this. This is a major spoiler, spoiling who the main villain is. If you don't know, if you haven't gotten there, watch the episodes. If you think you should watch season 3 of The Flash, do so. It's a good season, I'll say that. But giant spoiler, point of no return here. Savitar is Barry Allen. Yeah, isn't that interesting? Well, to be more specific, he's the future Barry Allen, and he's actually a time remnant. Because in the future, Barry Allen creates time remnants to stop Savitar, and Savitar kills every single time remnant except one, himself, so that he can live. Which is this crazy, like, figure eight loop on everything that he does. But basically, they stop Savitar, and now we're just left with a time remnant in the future. So, and this is after Iris is dead in this future. So now, what do we do with this time remnant? And he actually says when he's revealed, when Savitar reveals who he is, he says that he was neglected, like shunned by all of his friends, you know, by Joe, Wally, Cisco. Is that it? Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't say HR. He doesn't say HR, which I guess I haven't even talked about this in this video, but oh, shut up, clock. But yeah, he's shunned by everyone at Star Labs, by Team Flash, because he's not the original Barry Allen. This, along with the loss of Iris, drives him insane, and he becomes Savitar, going back in time so he can basically create his own birth. Because Savitar created him, now he, as Savitar, has to go back and create Savitar. Time travel, isn't it complicated? Don't you love it? Ooh, that's good water. No one just says that. It's nice, it's cold. I love cold water. So yeah, now all of this, when you actually understand all of this, it's very interesting because it is a evil version of our main character. And it's just interesting, and there are so many things they do with it. Like in the finale, Barry actually goes to Savitar. When I talk about these two, the main character, the Barry we've been following, I'm gonna call Barry. The evil time remnant Barry, I will call Savitar, to make things easier for you guys. When Barry goes to Savitar and says, there is still me in you. You are still me. You still have my memories. And he reminds him of a touching childhood memory, with his parents. And he says, let me help you. Let's bring you back to good. And so Barry and Savitar go back to Star Labs. And everyone is a little on edge with Savitar there. And basically they're going to try to figure out how to work with this, how to live with a time remnant, a duplicate of Barry. And basically, and it's a very interesting concept because Savitar even says, like, how is this going to work? Where am I going to live? Am I going to start living with Wally? Am I just going to rejoin Team Flash, fight some rogues? And he even says, like, how are we going to explain me at the wedding? Because Barry and Iris are getting married. He says, well, how am I going to, be there? How will you explain me to people? And stuff like that. And he even says, like, look, I have memories of proposing to Iris and singing to her and being in love with her. But you're the one who's going to marry her. So that kind of leaves me out. And it doesn't last very long, but it's a very interesting concept because it's like, yeah, how do you deal with a copy of yourself? Not even just like a clone, but an exact copy. One that has all of your memories. How do you live with that? That's an interesting concept. A concept that's not really done. And unfortunately, this is all in the finale. And it's over as soon as it starts. And unfortunately, I wish we had an episode or two more with Savitar so we can understand him. You know, we can get more from him, and maybe explore some of these concepts more. I wish we had a couple more episodes, but for what we got, I did really love it, and I did like Savitar as the villain. Other than that, there's really not much else to say. I really loved this season. I thought it was really good. I don't know if I would put it as high as seasons 1 and 2, but it was very good, and I did love it. And it's a very high score. Again, like right here. So yeah, it's been about 27 minutes on my recording. I did not mean to record this long, honestly. So yeah, I'm going to record Arrow now. Gotta record my Arrow review, which you can find right here in these end cards. You can click on Arrow, you can subscribe, you can click on my Supergirl review for Season 2 of Supergirl, and you can follow 7th Hour Films on Twitter at 7th Hour Films. I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care.